celebrations turn into bedlam. Armed gate crashes turn on partygoers. And serious injury for motorbike champion Wayne Gardner. Good evening. A huge manhunt is underway for two men who gate crashed a Melbourne party and shot dead two people. A third person is in a serious condition in hospital.
There were about 40 Kinglake residents at the Glenburn Road housewarming party. Just after 1 o'clock this morning, two men tried to gate crash.
Went to their party and attempted to force entry. They were refused entry, and as a result of that, one of them produced what we believe to be a handgun.
Witnesses say one of the men fired 3 or 4 shots into the crowd who were standing around a backyard fire.
One of them walked back to his car, got a gun, walked back in, and just had random shots.
I just remember running out with Kayleen's daughter Danielle and just seeing the bodies, and Danielle's just there yelling out for her.
Kayleen McDonald, a 33-year-old mother of 3 girls who had moved into the house a week ago, died instantly. Her husband was killed in a car crash last year. The future of her daughters is uncertain. 24-year-old Andrew Johns was also shot in the upper body. He died despite efforts to resuscitate him. And 23-year-old David James was badly injured. He's now in the Austin Hospital in a stable condition.
Very much loved, I would say, by the town. I think there's going to be a lot of very unhappy and very sad people.
Police say the two men had been drinking here for several hours before they left for the party. Originally they were with 5 other people, and police are hoping that group will come forward with more information. A large manhunt is now underway. Emma Rossi, 7 Nightly News.
Bridge anniversary celebrations turned chaotic this afternoon after 300,000 people formed a human traffic jam. Police called an early halt to the 60th birthday celebrations after emergency vehicles were unable to reach distressed revellers.
It was a grey start for the Bridge's birthday, but any fears organisers had that the threat of rain would keep numbers down quickly vanished. By the end of the day, they might have been wishing the rain had come after all. Vehicle traffic was stopped as the span was prepared for a human invasion. Just after 11:30, the floodgates opened, and for the third time in its 60 years, the bridge was taken over by the people.
So I walked across the bridge when it was open. I'm 81 now. The only thing I'm waiting for is to walk through the tunnel when it's open.
And the day was even more poignant for those who put the bridge in place.
Most of this steel went through my hands as a dogman in what they call the light shop at Milson's Point.
The bridge birthday was combined with Sydney's sesquicentennial celebrations and its bid for the 2000 Olympics. There was a worldwide audience for the party.
I'm from San Francisco. I'm from China.
Exeter, England.
Grosse Pointe, Michigan.
But as the crowds converged in the middle of the bridge, chaos, with 3 entertainment stages along the span and no lanes to separate the pedestrian traffic, the party came to a standstill. The human tide has formed one of the worst traffic jams the bridge has ever seen, and police are powerless to do anything about it.
Can you please move to the side?
Walkers collapsed in the tightly packed throng, but with the emergency lanes full of pedestrians, ambulances were forced to waste precious minutes reaching the victims. With options running out, the police called a premature halt to the party.
All persons, please start to head off the bridge.
Many pedestrians were prevented from even reaching the other side of the bridge.
Geez, don't block the bridge. We came here to walk across it.
We couldn't get right over.
Organised chaos. If this is the way they're going to organise the Olympics, all I can say is heaven help us.
It'd be a pretty miserable type to be complaining too much today.
Many people arrived at the bridge only to be told it had closed an hour early.
That would be probably my last time I can walk across. I'm too old now.
Motor traffic started moving again this afternoon. At 7 o'clock tonight, the new $250,000 lighting system will be officially turned on. Jeff Bruce, 7 Nightly News.
The bizarre circumstances surrounding the death of mining magnate Lang Hancock took another sensational turn today. His widow's lawyer has reported a phone call from Sydney claiming Mr. Hancock would be poisoned. Mrs. Rose Hancock today pleaded for privacy as investigations continue.
If you'll excuse me, from this day onwards, please don't bother me anymore because the pain is unbearable and I can't stand it.
It was a devastated Rose Hancock who left it to her lawyer, Martin Bennett, to launch a scathing attack on reports of rumour and innuendo over circumstances surrounding the mining magnate's death.
Articles such as in the Sunday Times today take gutter tabloid press to a new depth in Australia, and I think that they're grossly unfair. Let me say that there's not a suggestion, not the faintest trace of a suggestion that Mr. Hancock was poisoned.
Rumours have been rife since hours before Mr. Hancock's death, when he took out a restraining order to keep his wife away from his bedside, while only daughter Gina kept a vigil. And only 2 hours after his death, Major Crime Squad detectives swarmed the Hancock mansion, taking away what are believed to be drugs used by Mr. Hancock and Mrs. Hancock. This was after Mr. Hancock's doctor failed to sign a death certificate. But sensationally, Mr. Bennett today revealed why, citing a threat on Mr. Hancock's life by a caller from interstate.
At least 4 weeks ago, to my understanding, the Major Crime Squad received an anonymous so-called tip from Sydney, was said to be from Sydney, that Mr. Hancock would be killed by narcotics, and there was some innuendo that it would be by Mrs. Hancock.
The number of migrants entering Australia is expected to be slashed following a strong recommendation from unions. The ACTU wants numbers cut by 10,000, with a strong preference for skilled and English-speaking applicants.
The key to the nation's immigration debate is Australia's 10.5% unemployment. The main initiatives in the ACTU submission to the federal government are to stop the intake of blue-collar workers in favour of skilled English-speaking migrants to aid Australia's economic recovery.
Otherwise, we are going to be left with a pool of long-term unemployed with little hope of employment in the future, and that is the issue.
Mr Ferguson's calling for a 10% reduction to a figure of 100,000, along with a strong emphasis on the ability to speak English.
The reality is there are still some skill shortages.
He also wants employers to recruit from overseas only when the skills can't be found in Australia.
But that is part of a broader agreement by which you have to train people in Australia to fill those jobs in the future.
The Liberal Party is still considering the weight given to English-speaking migrants, but welcome consideration to a cut in the overall number.
But in the short term, the economy doesn't have the capacity to take migrants, and so a cut is both fair to them and fair to the Australian economy.
Also out of Canberra, the Prime Minister has announced that May 11th will be the date of the Special Premiers Conference. On the agenda is training, transport and electricity. In Canberra, Helen McCabe, 7 Nightly News.
A constitutional threat to the Wills by-election, and the IRA claims 2 victims in Northern Ireland.
Michael Douglas. I am the solution to your problems. Andy Garcia. Black Rain premieres tonight.
New Omo Micro. You demanded it. Now let's look at the results.
The collar particularly, with this fine embroidery work, looks really pretty and there's not a mark in sight. And overall, it was just wonderfully white.
The colours are just so lovely and bright, and they've come up fresh, nice and clean. They look great.
With just 1 scoop of Omo Micro, you'll get the results you want.
New Omo Micro. Concentrated powder for a concentrated clean.
It works for them. It'll work for you too.
Monday night could be your turn to win $1 million. Lotto, the big one.
The Germans like to be in the forefront of technology. Their big high-tech cars are built to carry powerful men in the back flat out between cities. When the powerful man pulls off to refuel, he wants his powerful man's snack of cream cake with extra cream, the famous Schmaltzkuchen with extra schmaltz, to have been whipped by lasers. In a country where 2 out of every 3 children are born with a PhD in electronics, high-tech is a way of life. So it's no wonder their telephone system is being replaced with new high-tech optical fiber. The Germans realize that optical fiber delivers the clearest sound quality. What they don't realize is that Telecom already uses optical fiber to link the capital cities of Australia.
Willkommen!
Telecom!
Really coming?
Australian for so much better.
Research units at St Vincent's Hospital will receive $1 million from yesterday's Concert for Life. And while the evidence of 90,000 music lovers has all but disappeared from Centennial Park, it's unlikely to be the venue for future events.
It was billed as Australia's biggest outdoor musical event, and it was. The country's best, the likes of INXS, Crowded House and Yofu Yindi thrilled the crowd, and the government put aside local concerns about loud noise and damage to the park to raise money for AIDS and cardiac research. As soon as the encores were over, clean-up crews began work and passed an early morning inspection.
I think the park looks terrific. I think it's back to normal. They've obviously worked all night.
Residents' complaints about noise are still being investigated.
The noise levels were almost at the pain threshold in some places.
Despite the success of the event, the government is unlikely to allow other concerts to be held here. It favours taking future events to Sydney's west.
I think the government would like to have a look at whether seeing St Vincent's is going to the west, whether if there's to be another Concert for Life, whether we could look at taking it to the west as well.
Mr Moore says the concert won't become an annual event at Centennial Park. Pam Mackay, 7 Nightly News.
The new Compass Airlines has pledged to become airborne in July. The Queensland government has agreed to put $10 million into the venture if a public float doesn't raise the necessary funds.
On July 1st, the new Compass will rise from the ashes of last year's collapse. Its resurrection due to the deal struck between new owners Southern Cross and the Queensland government. Cabinet has agreed to sub-underwrite a public share float to be launched by Melbourne stockbrokers JB Ware and Sons. The 10 million taxpayers' dollars will only be used to buy shares if the 50 million float target isn't reached. In return, Compass will keep its national headquarters in Brisbane, provide 350 Queensland jobs, and introduce daily flights from Brisbane to Cairns and from southern states to Coolangatta. As for another discount airfare scramble...
We don't intend to be fooling around with fares. They'll be there. They'll be cheaper than the present scheduled fares or the present competitors. And if they want to come to our fares, that's okay.
The new Compass will recruit previous employees, but not as many as before. Several hundred across Australia could miss out, perhaps among them those who fought long and hard to fly again. Carol Horn, 7 Nightly News.
A hiccup in the fight for the Victorian seat of Wills. A constitutional expert is insisting both Labor and Liberal candidates are ineligible to go to the polls in less than a fortnight.
The Constitution, which guides the Parliament, has sections which rarely see the light of day, and 44.1 is one of them. The Labor and Liberal candidates are both migrants. If either holds dual citizenship, it's possible he could be banned. There's even a claim the Labor candidate will be sued if he wins. Bill Carter-Mitsis, who spent most of the day door-knocking in the electorate, is angered by the claim. He says it's a diversionary tactic and it won't work.
To this person who is threatening of suing me if I ever become a member of parliament, will this person sue the rest of the already members of parliament? They are there in federal and other states, and I am members of parliament whom they have not been born in Australia.
He says it all has the smell of apartheid about it. John Della Creta, campaigning in Coburg today, says the section won't affect him.
I've been an Australian for 30 years, very proud of it, and the foresight of Dr. John Newton will create an enormous amount of jobs, and that's what we're looking for, putting Australia back on its feet.
Constitutional expert Professor Cheryl Saunders says the section has never been tested in the courts. So really it's there, but no one knows whether it'll work.
That seems to be the case.
Peter Beaton, 7 Nightly News.
In Northern Ireland, a policewoman has died and her partner lost both legs after an IRA mortar bomb attack. The two had been travelling in an unmarked patrol car through Newry, 150 kilometres southwest of Belfast.
The two police officers were on patrol in the centre of Newry shortly before midnight when the armoured police car they were travelling in was hit by a mortar bomb. They were both seriously injured. Constable Colleen McMurray died a few hours later in hospital, while her male colleague lost both legs in the explosion. The mortar bomb is known as the Mark 12. It's fired horizontally and is crude but deadly.
And all today's sport coming up next with Mark Warren, a thriller at Brookvale Oval.
Yeah, it sure was. Manly scrape home with a fair share of luck and mixed fortunes for the Aussies in the Japanese Grand Prix.
A great ride from Wayne Gardner. He threw everything he could. He showed his leg again.
From real life Princess Di Uncensored.
Next week, The Secret Life of a Princess. A new book reveals all, and the royals are fuming. Plus, the return of Queensland's vice bosses, bigger and better than ever.
We're back to square one.
Real life, 6:30 weeknights following 7 nightly news.
Heartworm disease can kill dogs. But there is a way to prevent heartworm disease that only has to be given once a month, and it is made with real beef, so it's chewable. Preventing heartworm disease is easy for dog owners and a delight for dogs. As you can see, chewing this monthly meaty treat sure beats the old pill routine, and it sure beats heartworm.
My mum makes me a lot of things I don't want to, so I'll grow up big and strong. But she doesn't have to force me to eat tip-top white high five, because it's just like any other white bread. But it's got 60% more fibre, so it's better for me.
Have you finished your lunch, Alfie?
Yes, Mum.
Well, you can go out and play then.
Thanks, Mum.
Come on, boys, get inside.
Jane and Lynn switched their loan to the National because we could tailor a home loan to their needs. We showed them a plan to cut 9 years off an ordinary home loan and save over $64,000.
Oh, the National were really terrific. We'll be saving thousands.
Yeah, we can't tell you what a relief that is.
Like the Regans, come in and see how much you could save on our unique home loan simulator at any branch. National Australia Bank, tailoring banking to your needs.
Green Seas, the only tuna in 100% light olive oil. So now the freshest tuna in 100% light olive oil is caught in Green Seas.
Newcastle has sent Premiers Penrith crashing to their second straight defeat in a major upset at Penrith Park. The Knights kept Penrith trialless, running out winners 14 points to 2, while across at Brookvale, Manly finished over the top of the Canberra Raiders.
While Manly fumbled early, the Raiders began brilliantly. First a try to Walters, then Sean Hoppy made it 10-4.
Up the dregs is Stewart, over the top for Hoppy, Hoppy on Valerie, Raves.
But as Phil Blake leant into this tackle on Matthew Ridge just before half-time, Canberra had its first blow, losing the 5/8 with a fractured cheekbone. Early in the second half, Cliff Lyons was given too free a hand as he set Dunford over to make it 10-all. But Canberra still had Ricky Stewart, who couldn't help but laugh as he made the defence look silly. Minutes later, he would be in agony as Matthew Ridge's shoulder lands squarely on the halfback's knee. Unlike Ridge, Tim Sheehan's knew it was no act. Stewart would be stretchered off with cruciate ligament damage. It was the end of Canberra. With a pass which seemed more forward than it was, Michael O'Connor sent Tony Iro on the road to the equaliser at 16-all. Tries to Lyons and Ridge would make the full-time score a flattering 28-16.
They'll talk about this one.
The injuries continued at Penrith Park, this tackle breaking the jaw of Penrith hooker and former Raider Brett Boyd. Newcastle would proceed to stage an upset with Adrian Brunker breaking a 2-all deadlock 19 minutes into the second half. 3 minutes from full-time, Sam Stewart sealed the match 14 points to 2, leaving the Premiers without a win in 1992. John Brady for 7 Nightly News.
The Brisbane Broncos have come from behind to defeat a vastly improved Gold Coast side at Lang Park. After trailing 12-6 at the break, Brisbane rallied to win by 6 points. At Wollongong, Illawarra downed Cronulla, while last night Easts were big winners over Wests.
The Gold Coast showed enough against Manly last week to prove that they certainly won't be easy beats this season, and they had Brisbane rattled, leading 12-6 at half-time. This tackle from Kerrod Walters saw Wally Lewis miss most of the second term, allowing Brisbane to get back into the match. Langer setting up Lazarus to put the Broncos within just 2 points. The Gold Coast couldn't hold them out, Langer crossing for the match winner. After the game, Wally had more words with Kerrod Walters. It was not the way the King wanted to farewell Lang Park. Illawarra's first match at home this season gave their fans plenty to look forward to as they totally outplayed Cronulla. The first half won them the match, the Steelers jumping away to a 12-0 lead. Cronulla picked up the only points in the second term. Illawarra, though, getting home 12-4. The Steelers undefeated with a draw and a win from their opening 2 games. At Campbelltown Sports Ground last night, the woes continued for Western Suburbs. In front of their home crowd, they turned in a mistake-ridden performance.